Dear Diary, today my flight was delayed from Canada, and so I had to spend an extra 2 hours in the airport. After the disappointment of my flight being delayed, I started looking for an empty waiting area. I finally found one and began reading from my novel. A little bit into the book, a young boy sat beside me. It was weird, because it didn't seem like he had any adults with him. I started a little conversation and asked him where his parents were. His name was Mohammad. He told me that he is from Palestine, and that his parents and siblings were all killed there, and that he is here to come to live with his uncle. I was in absolute awe. The boy looked 12, and had had such a rough life. I wish I could help him in any way possible, so I decided to give him my number, and told him to call me if he ever needed anything. Later on, I went to go check up on my flight status. As I was waiting for the elevator, an Asian-looking woman passed me by. She seemed lost, and was holding a Mandarin English dictionary. She asked me what the words next to the elevator meant. I found it somewhat difficult to explain, since she didn't understand English. So I decided to take her up to her terminal. On the way, she managed to tell me that she's from Singapore, and that she's coming to Canada to take English classes. After dropping her off, I went back upstairs to see how much longer I had to wait. I got really bored of just sitting around, so I went to go check the flight screen. To my disappointment, the flight was delayed yet again. Even though the flight was delayed for another 2 hours, passengers were asked to check in, so I did. I had never been to Pearson Airport before, and I was really impressed actually. It's such a nice place, let alone it's an airport. I was just amazed by the different types of people there. And I did want to go to Paris. But at the same time, I felt like I wanted to stay amongst these totally different people forever and get to know them all. Every time I looked around, I saw people wearing all different types of clothing and carrying all different types of bags, and I heard all kinds of languages. It was so interesting. As I hadn't eaten since the morning, I got kind of hungry, so I went to a Tim Hortons on the lower floor. Waiting in line before me were two very chatty women. One of them turned around and started talking to me. She started laughing when I told her I was going to France for a vacation, and assured me that I'd have a great time. They invited me to come sit with them, and so I did. They were really friendly, actually. They told me they were from France and were in Canada to look for colleges. That explained the croissants they ordered and their fashionable shoes. I talked to them for a while, and they both seemed excited to see Canada, especially Niagara Falls. All of a sudden, one of them looked at her watch and said in a hurry, "Oh, we have to go now." And they each grabbed a scarf and left, and I was alone again. After they left, I remembered the restaurant they told me to visit in France. I hope that comes in handy. About 10 minutes before my boarding, I went to the washroom to fix my hair. I was finally going to get on my flight. While I was there, a woman walked in. She was wearing a beautiful light blue dress. I loved it. I was confused, though, because she looked like she was taking a shower in the washroom. She kept washing her hands and face over and over and over again. I wondered if it was ever going to end. After deciding that my hands were clean enough, I left the lady to finish taking her shower. When I left, it still didn't end. When they called boarding for my flight, I saw something very weird. All of the people I had met and more seemed to be going somewhere together. I was so curious to see what was going on because they seemed like they knew each other from before, which was strange because they were all so different.
يا أيها الناس إنا خلقناكم من ذكر وأنثى وجعلناكم شعوبا وقبائل لتعارفوا.
They were all huddled around what appeared to be the chapel room, and they all went in together. I still wasn't satisfied. So I followed them and looked into the room, and I saw the sight I had seen so many times on TV. Muslims bowing down to their God. The least I could do was smile.
Allah made us all a different shade and color. Nations and tribes recognize one another, 'cause every single Muslim is your sister and brother. So many different colors of Islam. Fill the world with color, paint it everywhere you go. Paint everything you see and tell everyone you know. Quran will be your paint and your brush will be Iman. So fill the world with color, every color of Islam. Truth is clear and blue as the sky we walk under. Love is bright and loud as the lightning and thunder. Peace is pure and white as the moon so full of wonder. So many different colors of Islam. Fill the world with color, paint it everywhere you go. Paint everything you see and tell everyone you know. Quran will be your paint and your brush will be Iman.
I think we're done, right? Keep going. No. What's wrong? I think they're doing a video.
Yeah, it's recording, guys.
Oh my god. How? There's something wrong with it. No, it wasn't supposed to record.